Minister of Education Stephen Lecce has announced that students will now learn about the Holodomor famine as well as the evils of communism in grade 10 history. This is to ensure that the next generation embraces democracy and freedom and never sits on the sidelines in the face of evil, specifically referencing the war in Ukraine. Yeah, it would be awful if Canadian conservatives did anything to hurt the war effort in Ukraine. By the way, Ukraine has had a carbon tax for over 5 years. But Lecce's right, we should really be teaching students about the horrors of what a government can inflict upon its people, especially the most vulnerable. And we should be warning about the potential thousands of deaths that can occur when you have a negligent leader, and what happens when that leader abuses the power of the law to their advantage. And in particular, when that leader tries to use their power to violate your human rights. And we should also talk about the harms of communism in regards to how it became a plutocracy as well as a country that was ran by oligarchs, essentially becoming a place where the rich would exchange favors with the government in order for favorable treatment. Like, how insane would it be if a political leader sold their private company to another business, and that business was directly tied to another business that the political leader was doing billions of dollars in favor for? Like, I don't know, building an underground parking garage, and violating pretty much every single environmental protection law on the books. And we should be teaching about how very often in communist systems, the government gives a lot of money to the billionaires at the expense of average citizens and the services that they need to survive. Because never would we ever want any semblance of any form of socialist system in Canada. And I want to make something very clear. I do believe we should be teaching about the Holodomor. We have an extremely large Ukrainian-Canadian population, and therefore it is part of Canada's history. And it also fits in very neatly with the grade 10 history curriculum. But we need to be careful when our political leaders are calling entire systems evil. Capitalism is not evil. The abuse of capitalist systems is. Communism is not evil. The abuse of the communist system in Soviet Russia was. A system cannot inherently be evil. The people at the top that abuse the system can be. Kind of like how in Canada, when we got the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, we also got the notwithstanding clause, something that was only supposed to be used as a nuclear option when it was extremely important to the health and safety of citizens that a certain law gets passed, and in so doing, it violates the rights of those citizens. And we've seen Doug Ford use that time and time again, abusing it not for our benefit, but for the benefit of billionaires and at the destruction of the environment and at the harms of regular people, including your civic right to vote. But I don't know, hell, what do I know? It's not like I have a history degree or anything. I'm sure Doug and Lecce have studied more history and economics than I have.